Good afternoon. It is a sincere pleasure to welcome everyone to the 10th Annual Pesky Award for Inspirational Teaching celebration to recognize our 4 honorees, Annette Haag, Shanon Holt, David Jones, and Brenda Mckenzie. Before we get started, I'd like to take a moment and go over some helpful Zoom tips. You're more than welcome to keep your video camera on. Please keep your microphone muted unless you are a participant in speaking. If you'd like to change to speaker view, if you go up to the right corner of your screen, there's a view icon and you just put on speaker. And feel free to use the chat to share comments and celebrations and kudos. I do sincerely thank you all for making time this wonderful celebration today. Teaching is an immensely rewarding profession that may often go undervalued or unnoticed. Now more than ever, the tremendous value of teachers and teaching as a profession needs to be recognized and appreciated. Teachers today are in constant motion, responding to academic, social, and emotional needs of their students. Educators are teaching remotely, fully online, in hybrid models, and with new safety protocols demanding new accountability for teachers and for students. Teachers are making home visits for students and their families and persisting in ensuring access and opportunity in education for all. Therefore, it is a great privilege to honor these 4 outstanding educators for their excellence and dedication to their student success. Teachers like these both inspire and motivate not just those of us in the profession, but all of us to reach higher and achieve more. I am pleased to introduce today Boise State's president, Dr. Marlene Tromp, who will provide special greetings. Dr. Tromp.
Thank you so much, Dean Snow. I have to tell you what an extraordinary honor it is to be able to connect with you today for the presentation of the 10th of the Pesky Awards. I had an amazing conversation with Alan Pesky some time ago, and we talked about what a profound impact teachers have not always made, but continue to make, and especially in this critical moment. And when we asked the question, should we go forward in spite of the pandemic to try to really recognize teachers, we ended with the conclusion that in this difficult moment, there was no more important time to tell teachers, you are making such a difference in the lives of young people, of families, of our state, and of our nation. And it's such an honor to be able to thank you for all you do. We are ardent supporters of improved education. We recognize your incredible contributions in classrooms all across Idaho. And Alan and Wendy Pesky, the founders of the Lee Pesky Learning Center, created this award to recognize those extraordinary teachers who ignite a fire in their students and make them want to become teachers too. The Peskys partnered with Boise State's College of Education around a shared vision for honoring these inspiring teachers. And this award is particularly special because you were nominated by current or former students. Boise State recognizes the monumental impact your work has had on the lives of young people, and we're so grateful that you've chosen this noble profession. I had an incredible English teacher when I was in high school, and it inspired me to move forward and become a teacher myself. And I'm so proud that she was able to be a part of my inauguration ceremonies when I came here to become president at Boise State University. And I've had the opportunity and privilege of telling her what an influence she's had on me. So thank you to all of you for all that you've done and that you continue to do. It's an honor to be here to offer you this opportunity to be a part of this ceremony today. Dean Snow?
Thank you, Dr. Tromp. And thank you all for being here. We do have some special guests. We want to particularly welcome Alan and Wendy Pesky, their son Greg Pesky, his wife Naomi, and their children Talia and Levi, their daughter Heidi Worcester, her husband Rick, and their children Eliza, Sam, and Hope, interim provost Tony Rourke, Our College of Education Associate Deans Keith Teedy and Deb Carter, Alan and Wendy Pesky, Professor of Special Education and CEO of the Lee Pesky Learning Center, Evelyn Johnson, Matthew Ewing, VP of University Advancement, Kobe Dennis, Superintendent of Boise Schools, Heather Scott, Principal at Valley View Elementary, where Brenda Mckenzie is a teacher, and Lindy Crawford, Executive Director, and Dan Houston, Development Director of the Lee Pesky Learning Center. Brian Graves, Principal at Kuna High School, Brian Lee, Principal at Orofino Junior-Senior High School, Michael Garrett, Superintendent of Orofino School District, Tim Stanley, Principal at Borah High School, and Wendy Johnson, Superintendent of Kuna School District. We are so excited that you all could join us today to honor your teachers. 10 years ago, Alan and Wendy Pesky, founders of the Lee Pesky Learning Center, created the Pesky Award for Inspirational Teaching with Boise State University's College of Education through a mutual vision to honor and recognize inspiring teachers. This annual award recognizes kindergarten through 12th grade teachers who make a major difference in the lives of their students through their passion and caring. Nominations are submitted by current College of Education students, and they share stories about a teacher who inspired them to become a teacher themselves. This is the 10th time we have been able to recognize inspirational teachers, and this is the only award of its kind in the country. At this time, I would like Alan and Wendy to share a few words.
Alan, I think you're muted.
Muted me.
There you go. I wish it was so easy.
Wendy has this way of telling me I'm talking too much. Thank you, Jennifer, for that lovely introduction. First, let me say what an honor it is for Wendy and I to be here today in the presence of these 4 wonderful teachers and the students who nominated them. I also want to thank President Trump and the faculty of the College of Education at Boise State University for recognizing that education is a continuum that starts early on in preschool, continues formally through university, and is ever present the rest of life. In the broadest context, this award recognizes that teaching is the one profession that is responsible for all other professions, and that each of you, Annette, Shannon, David, and Brenda, are being recognized as exemplars that to be able to inspire others is the greatest gift one can give. I will close by saying that Wendy and I believe that the people who are to be admired and respected and revered in our society are those who do things for others with the only motive being to help them and the only reward seeing them benefit. So thank you. And now I will give you my wife, Wendy.
Well, Alan and Dr. Trump and Jennifer Snow have all really expressed how deeply we appreciate the role of that teachers play in our society. When I think that we have 40 teachers now that we have honored over the years, and hope that we'll be able to double and triple that if we should live so long or carry it on. It's truly an honor. But I also want to thank the students that nominated these teachers, because it took time and it took effort and it took soul searching for them to write their application or their for the awards. Anyway, these are the people that have helped shape them, and well, hopefully they will perform even greater than the teachers or as great as their teachers. So it's just an honor for us to be able to do this and to include all of you and have our family a part of this continuing special day in our lives every year. And with that, I am going to ask Cynthia Goutron to take over and introduce her honoree.
Annette Haag made the class exciting. She created a community where everyone was happy to be. Ms. Haag has always been such a positive ray of sunshine. She is always advocating for students and helping and pushing struggling seniors to graduate. She wants to see everyone succeed. Ms. Haag, would you like to say a few words?
Thank you, Cynthia, so much. I don't know what it is about educators, but we can speak for 7 hours straight in front of students in a classroom, but put us on a stage like this and we're at a loss for words. So I wrote some things down because I didn't want to forget someone. So if you'll indulge me for just a second. I am so grateful to so many people. We all know that teaching doesn't happen in isolation because you've heard the phrase, it takes a village, and that's so true. I wouldn't be successful at my job if it weren't for my magnificent, selfless coworkers, all of the bus drivers, the paraprofessionals, the maintenance, the food service, counselors, librarians, and fellow teachers, my mentors in education, and those in the Idaho Education Association who actually changed who I am and what I strive for in education. So thank you to them. To Wendy and Alan Pesky and the Pesky family. My strong faith makes me believe that we were destined to cross paths. Might I begin with my deepest condolences and sympathies for the loss of your son. I too have experienced that very same loss. And your dedication to education efforts in his honor is a true tribute and one that has brought us together and has had and will have a profound impact on thousands of other young people. And through these collaborations, we can positively influence the future of education as well. So thank you to the Pesky family. And because we all know the sacrifices that family must make when they have an educator in the house, I'd like to thank my partner, Dale Province, my son, Justin Haag, and my parents, Tim and Carol Adams. Thank you for your patience and understanding, and allowing me to spend all of my extra time and money on my other kids. So lastly, and with such deep gratitude, I want to thank my student, Cynthia Goutron, for nominating me. But accepting a nomination from her for Inspirational Teacher seems a bit ironic because it's actually she who inspires me. Because when you have a student like Cynthia in class, you want to be a better teacher. And anyone can stand in front of a group of kids and teach subject matter or teach to the standards, but that's not what I ever wanted to do in education. I want to teach empathy, responsibility, cooperation, service, passion, and I want to graduate students who will be self-assured, active citizens who are themselves inspired to make positive change in the world. And that is what I always saw in Cynthia. And I could not be more excited about the future of education when I know that she's going to be a part of it. So thank you with all of my heart to Cynthia Goutron for this nomination. I'm so humbled by this award, but also really excited that this collaboration of K-12, higher education, patrons and stakeholders shines such a positive light on education in Idaho. So thank you all again for the recognition.
Congratulations, Ms. Haag. My name is Courtney Biaggi, and I nominated our next honoree, which is Miss Shanon Holt from Borah High School in Boise. Miss Holt has this ability to just make all of her students feel so welcomed and so loved in her class, no matter what. She was and is always understanding and encouraging and creates this amazing, engaging environment. And I know personally, I always came to class so excited to learn. And along with that, she was just always able to make her material interesting and relevant to our lives, whether or not we were going to pursue a career in education. Ms. Holt, thank you for being so wonderful. And would you like to say a few words?
Boy, you know, I really appreciate the Peskies and giving this honor. It's a tremendous honor to be recognized, and you can't believe how many teachers that are now former students of mine that have came forward and started another conversation with me. It's just so amazing. And just like everyone, I guess the greatest honor is to have someone like Courtney in my classroom. She was so excited about learning to be a better teacher, even as a high school student. And I know she is going to be an amazing educator that will inspire others to be the next generation of excited educators. And that's the best part of this is it is a continuum. And when we pay it forward, I would never have realized what I would have received from this. And I just want to thank everyone.
Congratulations, Miss Holt. Hi, I'm Riley Newman, and I nominated the next honoree, David Jones from Kuna High School. One of David Jones, Mr. Jones, so weird calling him his first name, many strengths is his flexibility. He always allowed us in his class to interpret our own assignments. It was never so forceful because art is so your own language to speak. And he really inspired us to use our voices and what we wanted to do in our art. He offered his classroom as a safe place for many. I got bullied in high school, and I remember going into his classroom during my free time because it made me feel safe, and I knew it was a place that I could go and just deep dive into my art. And his students widely respect him and enjoy being in his class. Mr. Jones, would you like to say a few words?
Well, thanks, Riley. That was, you're just too kind. I think my favorite part about this entire award was the great surprise to see Riley back in my classroom. My conspiratorial department people managed to spring this surprise on me with the help of my administrators. And it was, you know, one of the things about teaching that's bittersweet is you get to know these fantastic children and you watch them grow up and become nearly adult humans, and you see them every day sometimes, and then you send them away and you don't see them. Sometimes you stay in touch, but sometimes you don't see them. And Riley was one of those kids I was thinking, gosh, I wonder how Riley's doing. I wonder what she's up to. And then come into my classroom within that week, and she's standing there and there's this award. And for me, that was just one of the best parts, to see Riley and to learn of the trajectory that she's on in her life. And I am very confident knowing Riley and her ability to be a leader and a mentor, that she's going to inspire hundreds and hundreds of children in her role as an educator. I'd like to thank Alan and Wendy for this fantastic award. I just think the whole model of it is great, and giving students a chance to recognize the people that inspired them. I'd like to thank my superintendent, Wendy Johnson, and my high school principal, Mr. Graves, for being fantastic leaders and helping to create an environment that allows teachers to do as what I call engage in the artistry of teaching, to engage in the goal of really teaching children and not focusing on standards or the administrative tasks that we have to do, but the focus is always on kids. I just love being in meetings, and every time we're always talking about what's best for kids. And so thank you to the awesome administrators and leaders in CUNA for making that an environment. I certainly want to give a huge thanks to my wife, Katie, who's here and doing her best to work to better the community as a nurse at St. Al. She's just a fantastic human, helps me to be better every day, helps to teach our children to be better every day. And I can't think of a better person to help inspire me than my favorite person. And my parents, who helped to raise me to be the person that I am, and the great people that they are. I love them very much. So just a huge thank you to, again, Alan and Wendy and the Boise State College of Education for making this possible. This was fantastic.
Congratulations, Mr. Jones. Hi, I'm Natalie Sweezy, and I nominated the final honoree, Brenda Mckenzie from Valley View Elementary in the Boise School District. Brenda Mckenzie is such an inspirational teacher. She cares for her students in a way that I have never seen a teacher care for her students. She knows her students in and out, and she shows that through texting the parents saying how great the students are each day. She shows her students every day how much she cares for them with kindness and support in and out of the school. Brenda, would you like to say a few words?
Thank you, Natalie. This is hard going last. You guys all have, like, I just could repeat many of the things you've said, but a huge thank you to the Peskys. And I will say that I've taken a lot of classes through the Pesky Center over the years, and I always recommend your classes to colleagues, and everything you stand for is amazing and superior by far. I too am a graduate of Boise State, and I always think that they do such a nice job with education all around. So thank you to them as well. I think teaching has always been a calling for me, and my students are amazing. My families are amazing, and getting to work with them and be a part of this is something I've always wanted and always enjoyed. And I don't know what else to say. Like, this is such a huge honor. I thank my principal, Mrs. Scott, and our entire district for supporting to education, and my family for supporting me and letting me spend all their money, even when we don't have any left. I'm always just getting something for somebody. But kids are a passion, and I love that we're honoring kids and honoring teaching. So thank you.
Thank you all. This is such an inspiring event each year. I cannot wait until we can come back together in person and enjoy our inspirational stories and feel motivated and good about our work in education. Our honorees today are joined by family, friends, and educational leaders from their schools. Please join me in acknowledging the critical role that principals and educational leaders play in creating school cultures where teachers are valued and encouraged. And on a final note, we at the College of Education would like to recognize the nominators today, just as their teachers did: Cynthia Guitrone, Courtney Biaggi, Riley Newman, and Natalie Sweezy. We want to thank you for your outstanding nominations, and we look forward to what you bring to the profession. We're inspired by your decision to enrich the lives of children in the most noble of professions. Congratulations, good luck. We in the College of Education are always here for you. I'd also like to extend a very special thank you to members of this year's selection committee, including Boise State faculty members, Drs. Carrie Semmelroth, Sherry Dismuke, AJ Zunkert, Evelyn Johnson, and Argia Bearstein. Thank you. And to everyone here, thank you for joining our celebration, for taking time on a Monday afternoon during a very busy season, and spending this time to honor teachers and the profession of teaching. Have a wonderful holiday season, and go Broncos.